Greetings, brothers and sisters. Tonight is October 13th, 2024. It's 15 after 5. This is our first mass meeting for the month of October this year. Tonight's topic, we will be looking at some of the passages from Philosophies and Opinions of Marcus Garvey. If there's any questions, comments, or any particular passages that anyone would like to discuss, if time permits, we can discuss that as well. My name is Brother John Hargrove, Service President for Division 421 here in Atlanta, and we will that officially concludes the quorum for the evening. So we will get into our opening rituals. First and foremost, pledge to the UNIA flag. If everyone would, please come off mute, put your black fist in the air, and we'll do call and response or repeat after. As a matter of fact, no, officers, we've got to know the pledge. Brother Omasyus, if you would, I'm gonna call on you first as our first vice president to lead us tonight in the pledge to the UNIA flag. Brother Omasyus, you there, first vice president? All right, Brother Omasyus may have stepped away. Brother Najee, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Would you do us the honor of leading us in the pledge to the UNIA flag, please?
Yes. Everybody will mute yourselves, raise your black fist in the air, repeat after me. One God.
No. We're doing we're doing the pledge to the flag.
Or the pledge.
Yeah, I commit my body, mind, and spirit. I got it. You should be able to see it on the screen.
Yeah, I don't see it on the screen.
Okay, I'm sorry. That's my fault. Here we go.
Okay. So it says, I commit my body, mind, and spirit.
I commit my body, mind, and spirit
to the protection, defense, and security.
To the protection, defense, and security
of the red, black, and green.
Of the red, black, and green.
I dedicate my life to the redemption of Mother Africa.
I dedicate my life to the redemption of Mother Africa.
And the liberation of her scattered black children.
And the liberation of her scattered black children.
I accept for myself my descendants.
I accept for myself my descendants.
The teachings of universal African nationalism.
The teachings of universal African nationalism.
And I promise that our children will be instilled.
And I promise
that our children will be instilled
with the purpose and knowledge of themselves as African people.
With the purpose and knowledge of themselves as African people.
In order that the cause of our struggle will neither falter nor fail. Until all black people are free and united.
Until all black people are free and united.
Through one God.
One God.
One aim.
One aim.
And one destiny.
One destiny. Race first.
Thank you, Brother Najee. Great job. Everyone, you can put your lines on mute. That takes care of our pledge. We'll go through brief rituals. I'll start with the opening hymn from Greenland's Icy Mountain. From Greenland's icy mountain, from India's coral strand, where Africa's sunny fountains roll down their golden sand. From many ancient rivers, from many palmy plains, they called us to deliver their land from error's chain. Shall we whose souls are lighted with wisdom from on high, shall we to men united the lamp of life deny? Salvation, O salvation, the joyful sound proclaim till earth's remotest nation has learned Messiah's name. Waft, waft, ye winds his story. and you ye waters roll, till like a sea of glory it spreads from pole, to o'er our ransomed nation, the Lamb for sinners slain, Redeemer, King, Creator, in bliss returns to reign. Brief prayer, if everyone would, if you would like to assume the position of prayer. Almighty God, whose kingdom is everlasting and power infinite, be gracious unto the Universal Negro Improvement Association, and so rule the hearts of thy servants, the President General, and the members of the High Executive Council, and all others in authority, so that they, knowing the great responsibilities of their office, so that they, knowing the great responsibility of their office, may above all things seek the honor and welfare of this race, and grant that all of our people, considering the authority they bear, may faithfully and obediently honor them in accordance with thy laws. Through Jesus Christ our Lord, who with thee and the Holy Ghost liveth and reigneth ever, one God, world without end. Amen. The last opening ritual is Shine On Eternal Light. Shine on eternal light to greet our souls this day, dispel the gloominess of night and drive our doubts away. Our longing eye prepare when war and strife shall cease, to view the morn soon to appear, the new era of peace. Thy glorious church, O God, no kingdom can remove, made without hands, the blessed abode, the harbinger of love. Of all the gifts that flow from thy great throne above, we ask thee on our hearts bestow the gift of perfect love. My soul the light receives and dares the truth to prove, not in blind ignorance believes, but knows that God, knows that God is love. Looks like my mic is acting up. Come, love, and give new birth to man's destructive mind. Spread where confusion reigns on earth, goodwill to all mankind. Shine on, eternal light. Thy penetrating ray shall turn the hour of darkest night into eternal day. Amen. And that takes care of our opening rituals. The roll call. Brother Art, would you do the honor of doing roll call for us, please?
Yes, sir. Tonight's attendance is President John, Najee, Sister Cicely, Dr. Shams, Sister Amina, Omasyus, and myself. Race first. Or did I miss anybody?
Yes.
Hold on. I'm on it. Brother Abdul, Aziz, Brother James, and Sister Reverle, and that's all I see here. Race first.
Ross Marvin's here.
Oh, and Brother Ross Marvin. Okay, I don't see. Okay, I got you.
Yes, thank you, Brother Art. I'm over here talking on mute. Yes, we always want to make sure we acknowledge officer titles as well as for our local officers. Myself as president, recording secretary, Brother Art, treasurer, and former president Ross Marvin, elder Mama Amina, second lady vice president Sister Cecily, first vice president, I'm sorry, Brother Omasyus, youth coordinator Brother James, financial secretary in training Brother Najee.
Okay, I will remember that.
No problem. Just gives everyone some insight as to the representatives on the call. It's also a way for me and us to keep track of our attendance, especially our officers' attendance. Thank you.
Okay.
Takes care of roll call. I think next was ground rules. Ground rules. Please keep your lines muted when you are not speaking. Everyone will have a chance to share. Please keep your comments limited to about 3 minutes, just to allow everyone to have an opportunity to speak. Do not use the N-word. Sisters, do not share your personal contact information. You can share business line or email. And make sure you pay your dues. I think that'll be another update for our ground rules. Make sure you're paying your dues and you are an active member of UNIA-ACL. I think that's it for ground rules. With that, we'll go into preamble, and then Brother Art, I'll pass it back to you for the minutes from our meeting from September 22nd. Preamble. So who is the UNIA? What is the UNIA, the Universal Negro Improvement Association? Best way to define that, as taught to us by the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, is through the preamble of our Constitution. So we made this a standing portion of our opening of every meeting. And the preamble reads, "The Universal Negro Improvement Association and African Communities League is a social, friendly, humanitarian, charitable, educational, institutional, constructive, and expansive society, and is founded by persons desiring to the utmost to work for the general uplift of the Negro peoples of the world. And the members pledge themselves to do all in their power to conserve the rights of their noble race and to respect the rights of all mankind, believing always in the brotherhood of man and the fatherhood of God. The motto of the organization is one God, one aim, one destiny. Therefore, let justice be done to all mankind, realizing that if the strong oppresses the weak, confusion and discontent will ever mark the path of man. But with love, faith, and charity towards all, the reign of peace and plenty will be heralded into the world, and the generations of men shall be called blessed." And with that, Brother Art, would you have some notes from our September 22nd mass meeting?
Okay, I got some notes. That was a short meeting.
I don't remember.
Okay, we opened with the motto. Then we did it. The topic was training courses and how to proceed with them.
I think I remember that meeting now.
Then we did the pledge, and Malik read the pledge. Then Brother John went over the rituals. And then at 5:20, we had a message view to us from I don't have anything else on that. And then we went into members share. That message took 2 hours, whatever it was. And 7:15 we went into members share.
Okay.
And we didn't have officers share because I think, John, you went over some of the upcoming events and how we were going to do the planning of those.
Okay.
And then we closed.
Okay. Any questions on our previous mass meeting? I think the plan was, I think we're talking about a course of African philosophy because we were planning to start that upcoming Tuesday.
Right.
So, if there aren't any questions, officers, if there is not any objection, I vote that we approve the previous meeting minutes as read. Any objection? Okay. All right, Brother Art, when you do get a chance, please send email that to me. We will make that a part of our official records.
Okay.
Okay. Topic for tonight is philosophy and opinions of the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey. Is everyone familiar with this text and what it is? Is anyone unfamiliar with the philosophy and opinions of Marcus Garvey? Go to the title page. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, unfamiliar.
You are
yeah, I'm
familiar?
familiar.
Everybody familiar?
I am not familiar, Miss
Ah.
Red.
All right, we got, okay. Thank you, Sister Reverle, for that honesty.
I got the book. I haven't read it. I would say familiar with it, but I haven't read it as of yet.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I mean in regards to familiar. Has read at least some of the text, maybe not the whole thing, but has read some of it, knows what the text is. So we got a couple people that are new to the information, and that is a good opportunity for us all to refresh ourselves on this information. So there's a couple, if anybody, again, I don't know if I said this, but if anybody has any particular passages they'd like to review, if time permits, we will go to that. First thing that I think we should go to for introduction would be the preface. Oh wait. Okay. Yeah. This is this digital version. Okay. How do we just say? Okay, that's a Safari. Don't have it. Is it therefore imperative? Sorry, got a discrepancy between the digital and the printed. First edition volume. Drop this volume. This volume. Okay, here we go. That's what I was looking for. So this is the beginning of the preface. Preface was written by Amy Jakes Garvey. She is credited as the editor, and she compiled these documents. So she is the second wife of the Right Excellent Marcus Mosiah Garvey. And she's one of the main reasons, obviously, outside of Mr. Garvey, as to why we have the philosophy and opinions. So as the preface, as it reads, this volume is compiled from the speeches and articles delivered and written by Marcus Garvey from time to time. My purpose for compiling, please keep your lines muted. My purpose for compiling same primarily was not for publication, but rather to keep as a personal record of the opinions and sayings of my husband during his career as the leader of that portion of the human family known as the Negro race. However, on second thought, I decided to publish this volume in order to give to the public an opportunity of studying and forming an opinion of him, not from inflated and misleading newspaper and magazine articles, but from expressions and thoughts enunciated by him in defense of his oppressed and struggling race, so that by his own words he may be judged, and Negroes the world over may be informed and inspired, for truth brought to light forces conviction, and a state of conviction inspires action. The history of contact between the white and black races for the last 300 years or more records only a series of pillages, wholesale murders, atrocities, brutalities, industrial exploitation, disenfranchisement of the one on the other, the strong against the weak, but the sun of evolution is gradually rising, shedding its light between the clouds of misery and oppression, and quickening and animating to racial consciousness and eventual national independence, Black men and women the world over. It is human, therefore, that few of us within the Negro race can comprehend this transcendent period. We all suffer in a more or less degree. We all feel this awakened spirit of true manhood and womanhood, but it is given to few the vision of leadership. It is an inspiration. It is a quality born in man. Therefore, in the course of leadership, it is natural that one should meet oppression because of ignorance, lack of knowledge, and sympathy of the, let me read that again. Therefore, in the course of leadership, it is natural that one should meet opposition because of ignorance, lack of knowledge, and sympathy of the oppression and understanding fully the spirit of leadership. With the dawn of this new era, which precedes the day of national independence for Negroes, it is well for all members of the race to understand their leadership, know what its essential principles are, and help to attain its goals and liberate a race in the truest sense of the word. This is where she breaks down what the text is, the summary of the text. In chapter 1 of this volume, I have endeavored to place before my readers gems of expressions convincing in their truths. Chapter 2 deals with the definitions and expositions of various interesting themes. Chapters 3 and 4 contain a collection of brief essays on subjects affecting world conditions generally and Negroes in particular. Chapter 5, in chapter 5, I have reproduced what I consider two of the best speeches of my husband. It is my sincere hope and desire that this small volume will help to disseminate among the members of my race everywhere the true knowledge of their past history, the struggles and strivings of the present leadership, and the glorious future of national independence in a free and redeemed Africa, achieved through organized purpose and organized action. And that was written by Amy Jakes Garvey, February 23rd, 1923. Questions, comments, and context. Let me see. I'm trying to think. Was Mr. Garvey? I don't think he was in jail yet. Let's see. No, I don't think he was in jail yet. But he had just been convicted, convicted that year. Or what's the right word? Indicted, I believe, that year. So, any questions, comments so far on preface of Philosophies and Opinions of Honorable Marcus Garvey, written by Amy Jakes Garvey?
President John, I got a different book because I didn't have her writing the preface in my book.
You definitely got the preface. Does somebody else write the preface in yours?
Yeah. Hold on a second.
Is it Sekou Touré?
Yeah.
Well, let me see. I think that's like, that is a preface. So that's like keep going. You should see the Amy Jakes after. So they got Sekou Touré, then there's a note from Miguel Lauren, and then the preface from Amy Jakes. You don't see it? You don't have that?
Hold on a second. Okay, I got it.
Okay. So there's a couple, now that we know what we are reading, I'm going to jump to a couple essays that I've highlighted over the years that I'd like to, bring, we brought to the mass meeting in time in the past. Man, Traitors, function of man, yeah, Traitors is okay. First essay we'll look at found in the original text, page 29, titled Traitors. Starts there. Let me see where it ends on. Okay. All right. No date for this essay or speech, but it's titled Traitors. And it reads, in the fight to reach the top, the oppressed have always been encumbered by the traitors of their own race, made up of those of little faith and those who are generally susceptible to bribery for the selling out of the rights of their own people. As Negroes, we are not entirely free of such an encumbrance. To be outspoken, I believe we are more encumbered in this way than any other race in the world, because of the lack of training and preparation for fitting us for our place in the world among nations and races. The traitor of the race is generally confined to the mediocre or irresponsible individual. But unfortunately, the traitors among the Negro race are generally to be found among the men highest placed in education and society, the fellows who call themselves leaders. For us to examine ourselves thoroughly as a people, we will find that we have more traitors than leaders, because nearly everyone who essays to lead the race at this time does so by first establishing himself as the pet of some philanthropist of another race, to whom he will go and debase his race in the worst form, humiliate his own manhood, and thereby win the sympathy of the great benefactor, who will dictate to him what he should do in the leadership of the Negro race. It is generally, quote, you must go out and teach your people to be meek and humble. Tell them to be good servants, loyal and obedient to their masters. If you will teach them such doctrine, you can always depend on me to give you $1,000 a year or $5,000 for your support of yourself, the newspaper, or the institution you represent. I will always recommend you to my friends as a good fellow who is all right, end quote. With this advice and prospect of patronage, the average Negro leader goes out to lead the unfortunate mass. These leaders tell us how good Mr. So-and-so is, how many good friends we have in the opposite race, and that if we leave everything to them, all will work out well. Okay, okay, so it finishes there. This is the kind of leadership we have been given for the last 50 years. It is nothing else but treachery and treason of the worst kind. The man who will compromise the attitude of his country is a traitor, and even so, the man who will compromise the rights of his race can be classified in no other way than that of a traitor also. Not until we settle down as 400 million people and let the men who have placed themselves in the lead of us realize that we are disgusted and dissatisfied, and that we shall have a leadership of our own and stick by it when we get it. We will be able to lift ourselves from this mire of degradation to the heights of prosperity, human liberty, and human appreciation. So that's Mr. Garvey's essay on traitors and philosophy and opinions. Any questions or comments? Is this something that still applies to our race today?
President John, I would say yes. Immediately, you know what, I thought about when you read compromising the race, my thought went to Clarence Thomas.
Hmm.
I'm sorry, but it did.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to necessarily, call them out. But there is another. Well, I'll just save that. But I understand what you're saying, Sister Reverle.
Yeah, indirectly, you could say, maybe.
Yeah. It reminds me of another essay in the text. That's why I said I'll hold off. Anyone else? Observations, comments?
May I?
Yes, Brother Orman.
Yeah, I think it's prevalent today, but it's in the form of class and economics, because there are many Black people who have became successful or live above the mean and gone to school with and been educated by and socialized with, place themselves in a higher category because they have left the people whom they were raised with. And so they become a new type of person, which is what we're dealing with now in this electoral debate that's going back and forth, because they have forgotten, or many of them have never known, especially those who have joined the Black tribe recently, don't know what we have gone through, nor do they share our common experience. So that also pertains to those Africans who have been successful for a while and lived away from the community. They've developed different social norms, and so they look condescendingly at the people, which is the bulk of us. So there's a schism there, and they can in some ways be called traitors, if you would or like to address that term to them, but it's a form of treachery. Race first.
Yes, sir. Race first. And I think that's something that Mr. Garvey acknowledged in the speech or essay. Sometimes it can be ignorance, we can, or some of our people can display characteristics of treachery unknowingly, just thinking they're doing what's best for themselves and their family, but they don't know that they're not doing what's best for the race as a whole.
So can I ask you a question?
Yes, Sister Reverle.
So with this, was he talking about just the organization or overall, in general with our race?
Overall.
Yeah, this is
Okay.
overall. Because I mean, I think this is where I was going in regards to what Brother Orman was saying to the class traitor aspect. But Mr. Garvey says the traitors of the race, of other races. So other races generally, general race traitors confined to the mediocre or irresponsible individual, but unfortunately the traitors among the Negro race. So not just traitors among the UNIA, but traitors among the entire race, generally
right,
to be found among men highest paid, highest placed in education and society, fellows who call themselves leaders. But yes,
Okay.
the
And
race.
I won't call out anybody else. I'm sorry.
No, you're right. You're right. You're right.
yes, they are selected and they have their own little group and organization. I'm sure you heard of the Boule, but they have been left to reign over us, as if you're probably familiar with recently, former President Obama took on the task of challenging Black men and their lack of enthusiasm, which is a way of pointing to Black men as the problem. And so that has to be dealt with also. But anyway, race first.
Yes, sir.
Race
Yes, sir.
first.
To that point, I think that'll bring us over to the next or another essay, which was titled "Governing the Ideal State." And that one's fairly long. We're not going to read the whole thing, but there are some points in there to our discussion. So this essay, to my memory, speaks about, I guess Mr. Garvey's quote unquote ideal state of government. And it goes into accountability. So when we're talking about traitors or those that are working against the race, Mr. Garvey touches on that briefly in this essay. So I'll try to see if we can get there quickly. Governing the ideal state. Our modern systems of government have partly, and this would be found on page, this is in volume 2, in the original text, page, governing the ideal state, page 74. Our modern systems of government have partly failed and are wholly failing. We have tried various forms, but none has measured up to the ideal state. Communism was the last attempt, and its most ardent advocates have acknowledged its limitations, shortcomings, and impossibility. The reasons for all this failure is not far to seek. The sum total of governmental collapse is traceable to the growing spirit of selfishness, graft, and greed within the individual. Naturally, the state cannot govern itself. It finds expression and executes its edicts through individuals. Hence, the state is human. Its animation is but a reflex of our human characters. As a Nero, Caesar, Alexander, Alfred, William, Lewis, Charles, Cromwell, Napoleon, Washington, Lincoln, Roosevelt, or Wilson thinks, so expresses the majesty of the state. If we must correct the maladministration of the state and apply the corporate majesty of the people to their own good, then we must reach the source and there reorganize and reform. Under the pressure of our civilization, with its manifold demands and the individual is tempted beyond measure to do evil or harm to others, and if responsible to the entire state and people, and if by thus acting he himself profits and those around him, there arises corruption in government, as well as in other branches of the secular and civil life. All of the methods of government have been tried and failed. I suggest a reformation that would place a greater responsibility upon the shoulders of the elect and force them either to be the criminals that some of us believe they are, or the good and true representatives we desire them to be. Government should be absolute, and the head should be thoroughly responsible for himself and the acts of his subordinates. When we elect the president of a nation, he should be endowed with absolute authority to appoint all his lieutenants, from cabinet ministers, governors of state and territories, administrators, and judges, to minor offices. He should swear his life as a guarantee to the state and the people, and he should be made to pay the price of such a life if he deceives, grafts, bows to special privilege or interest, or in any way undermines the sacred honor and trust imposed upon him by acts of favoritism, injustice, or friendly or self-interest. He should be the soul of honor, and when he is legally or properly found to be the contrary, he should be publicly disgraced and put to death as an outcast and an unworthy representative of the righteous will of the people. I think that is all that I really wanted to get to. I don't think. We'll double check. 74. 74. Volume 2, 74. Yeah, president should. A little bit more. A president should, by proper provisions made by the state, be removed from all pecuniary obligations and desires of material nature. He should be voted a salary and other accommodations so large and sufficient as to make it reasonably impossible for him or others dependent upon him to desire more during his administration. He and his family should be permanently and substantially provided for after the close of his administration, and all this and possibly more should be done for the purpose of removing him from the slightest possible material temptations or want. He in turn should devote his entire time to the sovereign needs and desires of the people. He should, for all the period of his administration, remove himself from the obligatory, direct, and fraternal contact with any and all special friends. His only friends outside of his immediate family should be the state. He should exact by law from all his responsible administrative appointees a similar obligation, and he should enforce the law by penalty of death. His administration and judges should be held to a strict accountability, and on the committing of any injustice, unfairness, favoritism, or malfeasance should be taken before the public, disgraced, then stoned to death. This system would tend to attract to the sacred function of government and judicial administration only men and women of the highest and best characters, whom the public would learn to honor and respect with such satisfaction as to obliterate and prevent the factional party fights of socialism, communism, anarchism, etc., for the control of government, because of their belief that government is controlled in the interest of the classes and not for the good of all the people. It would also discourage the self-seekers, grafters, demagogues, and charlatans from seeking public offices, as the penalty of discovery of crime would be public disgrace and death for them and their families. The state should hold the wife of a president and the wives of all administrative officials solely responsible for their domestic households, and they should be required by law to keep a strict and accurate public account of all receipts and disbursements of their husbands during their administrative terms, and if any revenue comes into the household other than provided by law, should be promptly reported to the responsible officer of the state for immediate action. And should the wife conceal or refuse to make such a disclosure, and that it, I'll just stop at this paragraph, be discovered afterwards, and it was an act of crime against the dignity and high office of the incumbent, she and her husband should be publicly disgraced and put to death. But any child or member of the family who, before discovery, reports the act should be spared the disgrace and publicly honored by the populace for the performing a duty to the state. The state should require that the husband and his consort, under the severest penalty for non-performance, report the full amount of his entire wealth to the state before taking office, and that all incomes and salaries legally authorized be reported promptly to the wife to enable her to keep a proper account. This is where I was trying to go. They should be respected by all with whom they come in contact, and at death, they should be granted public funerals and their names added to the niche in the Hall of Fame of the nation. Their names should be placed on the roll of honor, on the roll of the nation, and their deeds of righteousness should be handed down to the succeeding generations of the race, and their memories sung by the poets of the nation. So that's if you do good. For those who have abused their trust, images of them should be made and placed in the National Hall of Criminology and Ill Fame, and their crimes should be recited and a curse pronounced upon them and their generations. Government left to the free and wanton will and caprice of the individual in an age so corrupt as this, without any vital reprimand or punishment for malfeasance, other than ordinary imprisonment, will continue to produce dissatisfaction, cause counter-agitation of a dangerous nature, and upheavals destructive to the good of society and baneful to the higher hopes and desires of the human race. This plan I offer to the race as a means to which we may perfect the establishment of a new system of government, conducive to the best interest of the people and a blessing to our organized society of the 20th century. So this is in this comes out of volume 2. Later on, later writings of Mr. Garvey, but this was his concepts of the structure of an ideal state. And as I said, it's pretty much based around accountability, responsibility, and trying to prevent corruption. Any questions, comments on this essay as we proceed?
Race first.
Race first, Brother Ormond.
A very powerful statement. Excellent idea. If a government was run like that, you'd have what you might call a righteous government, because you won't get the interlopers in there like you have here now, where it becomes a monetary. When you go into office in this country, you go in poor and come out rich, and shows you the amount of malfeasance that goes on. But yeah, with a process like this one, presented by Marcus Garvey, yeah, you'd have a functional government, and you'd have people with integrity functioning. Yes, race first.
Race first, yes, sir. I think that was one of the big things. One of the big takeaways was creating an environment that prevents the attitude of corruption, or even considering doing something that would be to the detriment of the state, the people, the nation.
Yes, that's true, but you'd also have to have the follow-up, the ability to be able to carry that out, so that people will know that it is a reality.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Absolutely. But I would also argue, as a people, we must agree that of what type of society we want. If it's only 3, 4, 5 of us that agree to this, and we're enforcing that upon our people, I'm not sure if that is necessarily in line with the vision of Mr. Garvey. But we've all got to get on the same page.
Well, countries use what they call capital punishment for traitors. Yep. And a friend of mine who worked in Saudi Arabia over there witnessed a hand being cut off. There's certain laws that if you break, they do certain things to you that is public, and it was in public, and that these sort of things are reminders. But most people don't really have to be reminded, but every now and then a reminder is necessary, especially if you find that malignancy within the group.
Yes, sir.
You have to get rid of it right away.
Yes, sir.
Because otherwise it's going to spread.
Absolutely.
Race first.
Race first. Thank you, Brother Ormond. If there aren't any questions, I'm going to segue to another short essay, and then we will open the floor for any questions, comments, discussion, and then go to member share. Trying to make sure I get the best of the best. And I think it's 2 of them, actually. So one of them is in volume 1. It's titled Lack of Cooperation. Lack of Cooperation in the Negro Race. And I believe this is a short one. Okay, come on now. How do I get there? Okay. Let me make sure. Page 48. This will be on page 49 of volume 1. Philosophies and Opinions. And as we know, brothers and sisters, students, officers, we have to have this information. We have to have this in our libraries, these texts: Race First, Philosophies and Opinions, Message to the People, selected writings and speeches, even Dr. Amos's works on Garvey, literary Garveyism, poetical works of Mr. Garvey, Constitution, all of these things we should have physical copies, as well as, if we would like, digital resources that we can reference as well. But we should have physical copies. What affect my race affects me. Okay. Lack of cooperation. Page 49, Philosophies and Opinions, and it reads, lack of cooperation in the Negro race. It is so hard, so difficult to find men who, all right. Let's see how this goes. Progress in the, I think that's right. Next essay is white man's solution. Okay. Lack of cooperation in the Negro race. It is so hard, so difficult to find men who will stick to a purpose, who will maintain a principle for the worth of that principle, for the good of that principle. And if there is such, if there is a race that needs such men in the world today, God Almighty knows it is the race of which I am a member. The race needs men of vision and ability, men of character, and above all, men of honesty. And this is hard to find. The greatest stumbling block in the way of progress in the race has invariably come from within the race itself. The monkey wrench of destruction that's thrown into the cog of Negro progress is not thrown so much by the outsiders as the very fellow who is in our fold, and who should be the first to grease the wheels of progress rather than seeking to impede it. But notwithstanding the lack of sympathetic cooperation, I have one consolation, that I cannot get away from the race so long as I am in the race, and since I have sense and judgment enough to know that what affects the race affects me, it is my duty to help the race to clear itself of those things that affect us in common. That is a very short but very profound, I don't even know what to call it, essay or, writing. Questions, comments, observations. Lack of cooperation in the Negro race. Stumbling block in the way of progress to our race has invariably come from within the race. But as Mr. Garvey says, although he can identify this, see this, we can talk about it, intellectualize the problem all day. But Mr. Garvey says, and so long as I am in the race, and since I have sense and judgment enough to know that what affects the race affects me, it is my judgment to help the race to clear itself of those things that affect us in common. So this is what I would consider the burden of the intellectuals within our race. We know the conditions, we know the mentality, we know the obstacles that we're trying to overcome, but what other choice do we really have? We are a part of this body. What happens to this body happens to us. So, Sister Reverle.
Hey, thank you. Race first.
Race first.
I think maybe because he had that attitude, and is why the organization has grown the way it did in his time and even now, because I think he understood that you have to continue to talk to your race to find those who will cooperate, regardless of those who do not cooperate. So, yeah. I think that was really good, this essay about what he felt about the cooperation. It doesn't stop him. It didn't stop him.
Absolutely.
From, trying to get us together in unity.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Race first.
Race first. Thank you, Sister Reverle.
May I?
Brother Orman.
I think he's also charging each and every individual to make self-improvements and to grow ourselves up so that we might become much more harmonious, not only with ourselves, but with our brothers and sisters. Because if we're disgruntled within our own selves, that's what we bring to the table. So a lot of our projects and interests have gone astray because of the lack of work on self. And he specifically said purpose. So I think he said maintain a principle of worth and of that as principle for the good of that purpose.
Yes, sir.
You know, which means that we have to have a purpose also,
Yes, sir.
and identify with that. And a self-improvement program, I think, is what he's referring to here too, along with all the other ideas.
Yes, sir.
Race first.
That's first. Thank you, Brother Orman. Students of the course of African philosophy, purpose should ring a bell. Lesson 20, course of African philosophy, titled "Living for a Purpose." But
yes,
this is what Mr. These are one of the sentiments that Mr. Garvey repeats throughout his life. Any other observations, questions, comments?
Yeah, I was gonna say that I think that's also an attribute to the wisdom of Mr. Garvey, because I think out of this particular observation, several different observations, but this one in particular, I think he was able to realize why it was so important to start with that self-love and that belonging to Africa and so forth, because I think he realized that in order to address the lack of cooperation and the lack of determination, he first have to speak to that the components that would actually help us identify value in one another. Because once you do recognize the value in being an African and so forth, you'll want to work together with Africans, and it'll make you become more self-determined and realize the possibilities that are there to attain. So that's something that I just observed maybe in his thinking, and why he started with the self-love component. Race first.
Yes, sir. Race first. If there aren't any other observations, we'll go to one more last essay in volume 2, and then we'll close out the topic for tonight. And the last one to complete the theme, we'll look at the lesson or essay titled "The Negro's Greatest Enemy." Greatest enemy. I'm gonna stop at "You Are Black." This is in volume 2, starts on page 124, titled "The Negro's Greatest Enemy." We'll read, it's a couple pages in, it's 2 pages in the actual text. This article, which is largely a chapter of autobiography, appeared in Current History magazine, September 1923, apologies. I was born in the island of Jamaica, British West Indies, on August 17th, 1887. My parents were Black Negroes. My father was a man of brilliant intellect and dashing courage. He was unafraid of consequences. He took human chances in the course of life, as most bold men do, and he failed at the close of his career. He once had a fortune. He died poor. My mother was a sober and conscientious Christian, too soft and good for the time in which she lived. She was the direct opposite of my father. She was severe, firm, determined, bold, and strong, refusing to yield even to superior forces if he was severe, firm, determined, bold, and strong, refusing to yield even to superior forces if he believed he was right. My mother, on the other hand, was always willing to return a smile for a blow, and ever ready to bestow charity upon her enemy. Of this strange combination, I was born 36 years ago and ushered into the world of sin, the flesh, and the devil. I grew up with other Black and white boys. I was never whipped by any, but made them all respect my strength of my arms. I got my education from many sources, through private tutors, 2 public schools, 2 grammar or high schools, and 2 colleges. My teachers were men and women of varied experiences and abilities. 4 of them were eminent preachers. They studied me and I studied them. With some, I became friendly and an in after. With some, I became friendly in after years. Others, I drifted apart because as a boy, they wanted to whip me, and I simply refused to be whipped. I was not made to be whipped. It annoys me to be defeated. Hence, to me, to be defeated is to find cause for an everlasting struggle to reach the top. I became apprentice at an early age while still attending school. My apprentice master was a highly educated and alert man. In the affairs of business and the world, he had no peer. He taught me many things before I reached 12. And at 14, I had enough intelligence and experience to manage men. I was strong and manly, and I made them respect me. I developed a strong and forceful character, and have maintained it still. To me, at home in my early days, there was no difference between white and blacks. One of my father's properties, the place where I lived most of the time, was adjoining that of a white man. He had 3 girls and 2 boys, a Wesleyan minister. Another white man whose church my parents attended also had property adjoining ours. He had 3 girls and 1 boy. All of us were playmates. We romped and were happy children, playmates together. The little white girl whom I liked most, knew no better than I did myself. We were 2 innocent fools who never dreamed of race feelings and problem. As a child, I went to school with the white boys and girls like all of the Negroes. We were not called Negroes then. I never heard the term Negro once until I was about 14. At 14, my little white playmate and I parted. Her parents thought the time had come to separate us and to draw the color line. They sent her and another sister to Edinburgh, Scotland, and told her that she was never to write or to get in touch with me, for I was a quote-unquote nigger. It was then that I found for the first time that there was some difference in humanity, and that there were different races, each having its own separate and distinct social life. I did not care about the separation after I was told about it, because I never thought all during our childhood association that the girl and the rest of the children of her race were better than I was. In fact, they looked up to me, so I simply had no regrets. After my first lesson in race distinction, I never thought of playing with white girls anymore. even if they might be next door neighbors. At home, my sister's company was good enough for me. At school, I made friends with the colored girls next to me. White boys and I used to frolic together. We played cricket and baseball, ran races, and rode bicycles together. Took each other to the river and to the sea beach to learn to swim, and made boyish efforts while out in deep water to drown each other, making a sprint to shore, crying out, "Shark, shark, shark." In all our experiences, however, only one black boy was drowned. He went underwater on a Friday afternoon after school hours, and his parents found him afloat, half eaten by sharks, on the following Sunday afternoon. Since then, we boys never went sea bathing. All right, I'm gonna stop there. But the title of this essay is "The Negro's Greatest Enemy." It's fairly long, but for the sake of time, I just was going to read the introduction, and I invite everyone to finish that at your leisure. Any questions or comments on tonight's topic of Philosophies and Opinions of Mr. Garvey? Counsel General, I see you got your hand up.
Yes, President John, thank you. There is a part in the book here I'm thinking you would know first. I can't find it, still reading, where Garvey says if you ever get mad at something or with somebody, wait before you respond. Wait so many seconds, give you time to reflect, thought, and make the best response, that appropriate response. Do you recall that?
Yes, that is in Message to the People. So we were reading philosophies and opinions.
Okay.
You're referring to message to the people. I'll briefly pull that up. I can't remember which lesson particularly. Feels like somewhere in the middle of the book. Count.
Okay, I'm at fault here. I'm in the wrong book. So
No problem. In that text, so this is, we'll jump right back. Character. So lesson 7. This is a course of African philosophy for the officers. Leadership in Garvey, in the Garvey movement. A requirement for Division 421 leaders. In this text, different text from what we were reading tonight, but Mr. Garvey says, if you are angry to the point of fighting, count to 10 and move off. If it is your wife, family, relatives, or even friends, take your hat off. Take your hat and go for a walk. Inhale the fresh air. Look to the sky, landscape, flowers, and stars, and new thoughts will come to your mind. But maintaining a level head is a responsibility of leadership in the UNIA. Any other questions?
okay, thank you. That's chapter 7, character.
Lesson 7, yes, character. I don't like to call them chapters but yes, lesson 7, chapter 7, character.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions on philosophy and opinions? Okay, all right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us for that presentation. At this time, we will prepare for brief officer reports. Then we will go into member share. Brother Omasyus, are you there? First Vice President.
I'm here. Greetings, Race First family.
Greetings. Anything you want to share?
Yes. Race First family. We have been having our business development meetings. We do have a meeting this Thursday. Of course, everyone is invited out to our business development meetings. Last meeting we discussed, of course, our events, and we of course have having Ancestors Day event coming up on October 31st at the Hamnat Agria. Of course, the flyer has been posted on social media site. Of course, everybody's encouraged to share the flyer and, of course, attend possible. Of course, I won't be able to be there. I'm in Jacksonville, Florida, but excited about the event. Excited for the division, and definitely wanted to invite everybody out this Thursday at 7 o'clock. We will be having a business development meeting starting at 7, and then with a special guest presenter, and then after that, 8 o'clock, we will get into some more discussions on our business fields in our division. Reach first.
Raise first, Brother John. You on mute. You on mute, Brother John.
Thank you, Dr. Shams. I'm over here.
Raise first.
Thank you, Dr. Shams. Race first. Thank you, Brother Omasyus, first Vice President and Business Development Coordinator. Brother Omasyus, you were a little low, but I'll repeat what you were saying for the most part. Two big items coming up. Well, 3, I guess. Let's see. No. All right. Ancestors Day will be October 31st, Thursday, here in Atlanta, in-person event. This is our counter to Halloween. So we are encouraging family, community, children to come out, dress up as ancestors. We're trying to promote this culture, or that's not the word I'm looking for. Celebration, basically, but we're trying to establish something new. or something counter to the dressing up as ghosts and goblins. We're encouraging our people to dress up as our ancestors and to highlight our ancestors. We will have an in-person event, some brief entertainment, and there will be a costume contest for the children, $50 total prize. And we will have some giveaways for the children as well. So August 31st, Omanala Griot, 6 to 8 p.m. We inviting everyone in the Atlanta community to come out and celebrate with us. Any questions, comments on Oman? Oh, well. All right, that's one. Also, business development meetings every Thursday, 8 p.m. Did you say 8 p.m. this week, Brother Omasyus, or 7?
We have a guest presenter at 7. And,
Okay.
Of course, business development meeting starts at 8.
All right, business development guest presenter, 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. we'll have a follow-up discussion, and that'll be on this Zoom. So set a reminder for yourself if you would like to attend, and just join the same link that you joined for today's meeting to be a part of that discussion. Thank you, Brother Omasyus. Any questions for our first Vice President, Business Coordinator, Brother Omasyus? All right. If there aren't any questions, I did want to briefly, as we go through, call on the other officers. We do have another program. This is a virtual program, so if you're not able to attend in person, everyone that received the email invitation for today's meeting should have also received an email invitation for next Saturday's virtual program. We'll be going over the history of the UNIA auxiliaries with First Vice President out of Chicago, Brother Shaka Barak, looking at African Black Cross Nurses, African Legion, Motor Corps, and the other auxiliaries, the history and how we can make sure we implement these auxiliaries today. Any questions before we move to our next officer? Okay, let me see, office. Do we have any lady presidents? See you, Sister Cecily, Lady President on, or Sister Diane? Greetings, Lady President, Sister RaEbony.
Race first, greetings, family.
Race first. Anything you want to share with the family, upcoming events, programs, anything?
Friday, Black Cross Nurse meeting, 8 p.m. We do it first and third Fridays of each month. This Friday, our conversation will be on the fundraiser that we are planning. We'll get into details about that time, date, and all those specifics. How everything is going to be coordinated, the actual theme of the event. The Office of the Lady President, I know we were back and forth with the actual theme and how we actually wanted to execute this fundraiser. But the more we discussed it, the bigger it got. So we just chose out to push the date back. And we're going to probably, we'll discuss this again. Like I said, Friday, I don't have the date for Friday. One moment.
I think it's the 18th. It's right.
It's the 18th.
Yeah, it should be 18.
Okay, well, I'll see you all on the 18th. But of course, I send out flyers for my meeting, the Zoom link, and all of that will be attached to that. So, want more information about the fundraiser? You want to, pitch in? If you want to know what's all going on, if you want more information about the Black Cross Nurses, and how that is going to be attacked, that is in the meeting as well. And we also have information about the youth program and the Motor Corps as well. But But that's all from the Lady President, Office of the Lady President. See y'all Friday, 8 p.m. I'll send out a flyer and race first.
Race first.
Race first. Thank you, Lady President. Lady President, I got an email from I think I sent it to the executive body.
Oh yeah, from Sister Jasmine. They're having a big thing. Black Cross Nurse Atlanta is developing a website. It will be published by Tuesday. BCNATL.org. So the Black Cross nurses will have their website up and coming. I did see the email, and we will present the website at that meeting. So everybody can have a place where they can access the Black Cross nurses and all the information, the Motor Corps information that'll be coming soon. We just want to attack it one auxiliary at a time. But for now, the reason for the pushback in the fundraiser is because of all the foundation building that's going on in the office of the Lady President and in the Black Cross nurses. Like I said, the more we talked about it, the bigger it got. The more we talked about it, the more foundation that we're discovering that we're needing, just not just raising funds, but just actually having a Black Cross Nurse Atlanta Foundation. So that's what we are building. So like I said, before that meeting comes, we will have the Black Cross Nurse website published with the information pertaining to the fundraiser and the programs and the expectations and all of that good stuff. So be on the lookout for bcnatl.org and all that information, and please be sure to sign up on the mail, on the newsletter, sign up that will be on the website and all of that good stuff. So we look forward to that. We look forward to seeing you. We look forward to seeing you Friday. Like I said, this all will be in that meeting. So look forward to seeing you then. Lady President RaEbony, race first.
Race first. Thank you, Lady President. Any questions for our Lady President? Office of Black Cross Nurses.
Office of Black Cross Nurses, the Motor Corps, and the youth program all come from out of the Office of the Lady President. So if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, or you have any information that you would like to give, or any volunteer information that you would like to give, please don't hesitate to reach out to me and let me know. Race first.
Mr. Mean, I tried to reach out to you, but it was not about anything in October. But I'll contact you again. I'll try.
Oh yeah, thank you. For everybody who has, thank you, Mama Mina. But my phone, I had a broken screen, so I just bought a new phone. So I'll reach back out to you, Mama Mina. Thank you for letting me know that.
Okay, thank you.
Pardon me, Mama. Pardon me. I have a question.
Brother Orman, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, pardon me. Pardon my ignorance, but you mentioned was it after the Black Cross nursing, you have the second program is what is that program again?
The Motor Corps.
Motor Corps, right. What is the Motor Corps? Pardon my ignorance.
Well, Motor Corps is an auxiliary where it trained, it's a women's auxiliary. It's a defensive driving defense, kind of like it can put you in the mind of like a Secret Service type of auxiliary, because the women of the auxiliary, we are trained drivers, we're trained in minimal combat. When I say minimal combat, because we have to know self-defense and we have to know gun awareness, gun training, gun control and stuff like that. And then we also have to know minimal mechanics. So it's kind of like a Secret Service type of auxiliary that Marcus Mosiah Garvey created. And I would imagine it would be for the, when we have like special guests in town, or we the Motor Corps, it gives the president what's the word I want to use? It chauffeurs the president to events and stuff like that, and chauffeur all new UNIA leaders or, things like that when they come to visit and things like that. So it's just like I said, like a little Secret Service type of auxiliary that Marcus Garvey created.
Yes, all inclusive too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
First. No problem.
Great question, Brother Orman. And excellent work by Lady President. Thank you, Lady President. Brother Mason, you came off mute.
Yeah, I just wanted to veg you back again. That's a great segue to reiterate. October 19th, we will have the Zoom about our auxiliaries, so you'll learn about them. October 19th. Mark your calendars.
Yeah, let's see. The 18th first, though. 18th is Friday, Black Cross Nurse meeting for local here in Atlanta, and then we'll have a program, national program with the history of the auxiliaries, and then the following Thursday, the Black Cross Nurse Leadership in New York will be having a program. So 3 upcoming programs this week focused on pretty much the auxiliaries of the UNIA, particularly Black Cross nurses.
Again, I just want to mention again, be on the lookout for Black Cross Nurses, ATL.org, BCN, ATL.org. Again, but when I have it published, it should be published by Wednesday, and I'll send that out. So all information pertaining to the Black Cross Nurses Atlanta will be on that website and will be updated daily, especially with, like I said, the programs, the signing up for the programs. And if you want to sign up, if you want your people to sign up for the programs, they have to be a member. That is the key. They have to have membership. So if you want, your niece or your nephew or, yourself or anybody in your family, just make sure that they sign up to be a member. One of my requirements is that they sign up for the yearly membership to enroll. Have to sign up for the yearly membership to enroll. Have to have a fully paid year's membership. So I think that's like the minimum of the requirements that I should mention here, is that you have to be a full year paid member to participate in the Black Cross Nurse program, because it's a free program. So we need your yearly dues paid. So that's all I wanted to mention. BCNATL.org. Be on the lookout for it. And we'll go over that on Friday at 8 p.m. Race first. Thank you. Thank you, President John.
Thank you, Lady President. Great job. If there aren't any questions for our Lady President, any other Lady Presidents? Sister Cecily, Second Lady Vice President. Names be moving around. Okay.
John, is there any particular dates for paying our dues?
Typically, standard would be first of the year. You want to pay your yearly dues, but by the end of January, we would like to have all members' yearly dues paid up.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. And we always accept contributions throughout the year. Speaking of that, since we're talking about these things, make sure all everyone here, make sure you're paying your dues. If you're watching this, as a recording later, make sure you pay your dues. If you'd like to make any contributions to Division 421, you can do that through the top 3 links provided. Make a general contribution to UNIA parent body. You can make that with the Cashapp at the bottom. But yes, please make sure you are paying your dues, and we are active members of our great organization.
Excuse me. Is there a reminder system that when your dues come due, that you are notified?
Not officially. No. Yeah, not officially. Go ahead.
So you should know, but sometimes you forget.
Yeah. What I recommend, but yeah, as an organization, we do need to be better about that. In the interim, I recommend our automatic recurring dues system. That's what I've used since 2018. Attorney Imhotep, Brother Malik, Cornelius, several of us are using the recurring dues system. So it's an automatic recurring system. But that's the first link will get you to the automatic dues paying system. Auto pay, yes, sir. Yep, that's what we got. Okay, Sister Cecily has stepped away before we could get to reports. She must have got tied up. That brings it to Brother Eric, our third vice president. Greetings, Brother Eric. See you in the chat. Be here.
Yeah, hey everybody, what's going on?
Going on. Membership coordinator. How's everything going?
Pretty good. We were just updating most of the data. As far as membership, just updating that mostly. It's a lot, but it is what it is. But as far as reports, the only thing I would want to double down on, or I guess double triple down on, is the business meetings, of course, and I would say Black Cross nurses. Nothing really specifically except what I heard, which was when I'm going to try and keep it short, but whenever I'm talking about the UNIA or any of the programs or anything, it's always like there's always this kind of subtle undertone of like what are you guys doing? You know what I mean? Like I don't really know how to explain it, but it's like a what do we look at kind of thing. But Lady President said it kind of well, which I don't really hear often, is it's a lot of foundational steps. It's not that we don't have programs or we're not doing anything or nothing's happening. It's a lot of foundation and a lot of prep and a lot of setup, because it's like it's a scale type of thing. So I know it's recorded and there's like kind of a past tense aspect to what we're saying, but it's a lot of foundation is just what I want to double down on. Yep. That's what I heard, and I like hearing that, and I like saying that to people. It's not that there's nothing going on. It's not that nobody's doing nothing. A lot of foundational steps. There's a lot of prep that goes into a lot of things, but business meetings are usually weekly, and the Black Cross nurses are also developing. So I would just leave it at that.
Thank you, Brother Eric. Well stated. But yeah, I think horizontal versus vertical growth. We're definitely in the horizontal growth mode. We haven't gotten into vertical, but I think we're doing the right things, laying the seeds for that vertical growth. Any questions for third vice president, membership coordinator, Brother Eric?
I have a question. I have some older people who want to join, and they want to join online. What is there a specific website to go to join online?
Yes, for sure. I'm gonna look it up right now, and I'll just post it in the chat real quick. I'll find the link for it real fast.
Oh wow, okay. I was getting ready to call on Ross. Like you got okay.
That's right. Even me.
If he's here, if he has it, that'd be great.
Ross, you know anything about online for us outside of social media right now?
Yes. If you go to cbpm.org / Atlanta Division 421, right at the top of the page, you'll see the link for join the UNIA online.
Got you.
cpbm.com.
.org.
CBPM, Collective Black People Movement.
.org.
cbpm.org / Atlanta Division 421, all lowercase letters and no space.
Thank you.
I'll just put the link in the chat.
Yeah, Brother Eric just did. Wait, oh wow, this is the
There's that one, and then there's one that takes you directly to
Okay.
Yeah.
This one here has the form attached to it, but there's also one that just goes straight to paying, to be able to straight cover the dues. So.
Okay.
But we
Thank
don't
you.
have to Brother Orman's point, we don't have a form that you can just fill out on the computer.
Okay. Well, they can fill. I'll make a copy. They can fill it out, and they can pass it in, mail it in,
Yeah.
bring it in.
But I mean, modern things, everything is like online. A lot of the applications and forms are online.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna send it through the mail, old fashioned way.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of still old fashioned. I was gonna say fax. But you just scan it and email it. But, yeah, we gotta update that.
Or if it's not too much, you can fill out the paper application, take a picture of it with your phone, and send it to President John or President Ross if it's legible.
Yep. I actually got one of those applications right now. Member did that, and it's fine. It's all about legible information, as Lady President said.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Thank you, Brother Orman. Great question. All right, that is our president's. All right, thank you, presidents, for being on and providing reports. We'll keep it moving. Brother, looks like, oh yeah, that's his Brother James. Greetings, Brother James. I thought it was Baba James for a second. Brother James, you there? Okay, Brother James.
Oh, I'm here.
Okay.
My bad. I was trying to unmute it. I'm tripping. Yeah, go ahead. President John. Right now with the youth, I'm getting ready to do this Spanish presentation on Marcus Garvey. It's Slater Elementary. It'll be October the 31st.
Wait a minute, that's my school now, Brother James. That's me and my children. We'll be there. That's my baby school.
Okay now. All right. I'm gonna be there. I'll be in the building. But yeah, I'm doing the Teach Me About Garvey and the Spanish version of Teach Me About Garvey and Enseñame de Garvey. So I'll be doing that. That'll be on the 31st. And like I said, also I'll be there. I'll take some of the flyers for Ancestors Day to let them know about that evening. That's pretty much what I've been focused on here right now. Yeah, that's pretty much what I've been focused on. I was gonna ask you, President John, and maybe you can let me know offline. Do we have anybody in one of our Spanish speaking divisions to connect with? Because I'd really like to connect with them prior to that to get some insight. And I don't know if we had anybody who speaks Spanish here in Atlanta, because if they did, that would definitely help. That would definitely enhance the presentation and so forth. But yeah, that's currently what we got going on with the youth. We're just trying to make it plain and meet them where they are and grow from there.
Yes, sir. Great work, Brother James, youth coordinator. Spanish, scratching my head off top. I think that's another deficiency.
Let me jump in here, President John. Brother James. I actually, she's not in the division, but I'm pretty sure I can talk to her. But she is she's a Spanish speaking Black woman. I think she's Dominican or something, but she claims her Black heritage as well. But anyway, she is I think she's like a youth director at Price Middle School, which is the middle school for Slater Elementary. If she's not busy in her day activities, I can ask her if she could come and assist on the 31st at Slater. Because like I said, she's at Price in the afternoon, so I just have to check and see what she's doing in the daytime, and I can get back with you on that information if that's.
Yeah, that'll be good. Yeah, you just holler at her and see, what she got going on, and And if you can, even if you want to connect us, you know what I'm saying? Either way, but yeah, that would definitely help tremendously. So thank you for that, Lady President.
No problem. Breaks first, and I'll get with you on probably if not this week because they're on break, it'll be the following.
Right. Okay. Cool. All right. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay. Rest first.
Rest first.
Right. All right. All right. Next officer, Counsel General Attorney Imhotep. Anything you want to share with the membership?
Yes, thank you, President John. In regards to the UNIA government, we as members of the government need to have more respect and give more respect to our government leaders who are representing the race, who are elected by the race to lead us in these challenging times we're facing today. And people have the members of the government, the regular body, you know, have rights of thought, you know, what they feel, how the government should be run, and they have the right to express those views. We also have a duty, and it's protocol, and it's long in the history of the government to respect, particularly the President General. We back in the day, the UNIA was known as some, I guess, fighters. You know, the challenges back in the day with the integrationists that are, you know, still prevalent today. And a lot of the UNIA members were, you know, accused of beating up people, the opposition, and who were expressing their challenges to what the UNIA was doing, its position, and what it was expressing, and their government programs that they were, you know, instituting, and people, you know, the members were protective, you know, of the leadership and what they were doing, and there's records of a lot of fights, people getting beat up, people getting killed, but today, fast forwarded, you know, to today, we just need to be more respectful of our President General, and that's the protocol, considering what he's doing in leading the race. He's not only the President General of the UNIA, he's the administrator of the UNIA. So has
find something else to talk
about. Yeah.
My apologies, Attorney Imhotep, go ahead.
Yeah, this is my report I'm giving as the Counsel General that I see that we need to work on. And also one thing in closing, one thing I heard the President General say and acknowledge that he knows, African people, members who are, from this country in particular, we have a lot of, baggage, mindset that is not good, considering what we've been faced and gone through in this country. We got some problems, and the President General, I heard him say that, and he recognized it, and I thought that was good. So he understands that's what one of the challenges he's facing, and we all face. So that's it. If you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them. Thank you. Race first.
Race first.
Yes, I got a question.
Go ahead, President Ross, you have it.
To Attorney Imhotep, you said that our leaders are duly elected by the people, and I wouldn't agree with that, because if dues-paying members cannot vote for the leadership unless they go to New York, and the majority of members cannot go to New York where they have the elections, and our leadership is elected by the people in New York, and the leadership are the people in New York. So I wouldn't agree with that they're duly elected by the people, because you only can vote if you go to the convention to New York. So is the parent body doing something to enable all dues-paying members to be able to vote for our leadership? Because until they do that, I can't say that the leadership is elected by the people.
Thank you, President Ross. That's a very important point. Let me say that the rules were changed on how, at convention, how the government would be elected. And let me first say that was no fault of the present President General. He was not the President General at the time of that rule change. And that was one of the things we need to know why. I've heard for the first time why the rules were changed. Apparently they felt that at convention, there was nobody there. Supposedly at the time, each division had 2 representatives they were to send to convention, and that's how the voting would be done. But apparently the divisions were small. They weren't sending anyone to the conventions. The conventions were very small in number. So they decided then, whoever the President General was, I do not know, but they decided, well, we need to have more people at the conventions. This is not looking good, these small numbers. We need to have more people at the convention. So they decided that wherever the conventions would be held, that the members could come, there'd be more people there, and they'd be able to vote on. They changed the rules where you had to vote on site. That doesn't mean that people who are not at the convention can't come to the convention and vote. But surely that's the big problem of today, is that since that rule change, which was not the President General Duncan was not the President General at the time of the rule change, and now he simply, admittedly, is and he has control over as President General, where the convention is held. He's playing by the rules. Okay, simply as that. So you can't blame him to that extent. But yes, it needs to be changed. That's part of the attitude and problems that we're facing as a government, and it's not good, and it needs to change. The President General did mention he would look into that, possible change. I haven't heard him give any updates on it. He may have, and I may have not be aware of it, but surely that's what's one of the big problems we're facing, and you can't say that he, initiated this change. No, he was not. No, he did not. So that's my response. But thank you, President Ross. Race first.
One last question, Attorney Imhotep. Do you think that our current leadership, even though they weren't responsible for the implementation of it, do you think that they'll have it resolved by the next parent body elections? That's 2028. And would they have it resolved so that dues paying members outside of New York can also vote? Is there any push to make sure that at the next election that it's resolved? Because we have our President General has been in office for 8 years so far. And when 2028 comes, it's going to be 12 years. Even though he wasn't responsible for it to happen, he's had 8 years to try to make it a little fairer. So I'm wondering, do you think that they will make it fair by the next parent body election in 2028?
I would hope so, President Ross. And I will make it known to the HEC that is a desire, in particular of Division 421, and see what what the thinking is, and get back with the division on what's going to be done here, and certainly that's enough time, 2028, to do something, and I would certainly hope something is done. And so and this is a good time to start here, and I don't think that there has been re-push here to get an answer to that. That's a very important question that needs to be resolved, and would be to the benefit of the government. Thank you.
Thank you, Counsel General.
Brother Mace, I see you got your hand up. Counsel General, just as you speak to the HEC, it would be in association with the 2024 resolution for electronic voting. So, this is something that several divisions of the UNIA have been trying to have put forth for HEC discussions, for convention discussions since 2024. So if you're going to, refresh their memory that this is something that Division 421 desires, you can also remind them that this is something that other divisions have also been discussing since 2020.
Okay, thank you, John. I'll do that.
Brother Omasyus, you put your hand down. Oh, you got some noise in the background. Okay.
It was the same point you had, President John, about the resolution.
Ah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. We all grown. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. I'm not going to continue to. Yeah, we're not going to do. Okay. So, other officers.
John, I did want to say, however, I'm sorry, I had to go outside, but I did want to say, however, to the point of and Veggie back to the point that when Imhotep had said, because we kind of took it to the election, but our elected representative did go through the current process to be duly elected, and the point that Attorney Imhotep raised, I think it was a important one for us not to kind of look over and glaze over in now focusing on the election component. But our duly elected officials, I veg you back on the fact that, since we are a government, it is wise to look at ourselves as a government and as focusing on our international leaders as leading our government, and for us to kind of take lead and support, even though we may not agree with how they got there, they're currently there. And I want to veg you back on that point. And I believe it's important to the diplomacy of our division to support the efforts and also help assist, because our job is to affect our entire race. And if we do that, Atlanta will be also a part of that growth as well.
Yes, sir. Just to be clear, we do support our leadership, and we, not to my knowledge, we do not work against our leadership, our duly elected leadership. It is, we do understand Constitution process. Everything that we've discussed has been constitutional. So, yeah. Any other closing comments on this discussion?
I actually got a question about something else you said earlier.
Okay.
You said that you were saying something about how the younger people and the people like coming in have I'm actually forgetting how you phrased it, but it was like it's kind of like if I were to just try to sum it up, it's like a respect thing. Do you know what I'm talking about with what you said when I say that?
No.
You're having a problem like we're having a problem like adjusting to leadership, or not adjusting. I'm trying to remember the word you said, but it's like a following leadership type of thing. The people coming in and like the generations coming up, or that's becoming a problem. But so what do you think is the first like approach to something like that? Like getting people to like fall in line, for lack of better words. Do you guys know what I mean?
You talking about getting the next generation to basically respect leadership, or to fall in line to their leadership?
Yeah, I'm saying that's a good way to put that. But yeah, I'm following up with what Imhotep said in his report. But yes, that'd be a good way to phrase my question. What do you think is the first approach to people adjusting to leadership, whether they agree with it or not? What do you think is the best approach to explaining that to people?
You threw a wrench in when we said whether they agree with it or not. Let me see.
I can think of a way to rephrase it to
One
try
second,
and
one
get
second. I got you, brother Eric. I got you. I got a response. If others would like to respond as well, they may. But I see it's two sides to it. One is from an aspect of a follower respecting the leader, and the other is aspect of a leader desiring respect from the followers. So as a follower, a follower, I mean, it's tough, honestly. Sometimes you just got to humble yourself, and be mature about the situation and the circumstances, and the understanding of the principles of organization. If we are going to be an organized body, if we are going to be strong, if we are going to, as a collective stand up on the same level as others, then we will have representative leadership, and that representative leadership we may not always agree with. So for me, on the first aspect, somewhat being humble, to things that you may not understand, and buying into the team concept, as Mr. Garvey said, what affects the race affects all of us. So humbling ourselves to that would be one aspect. The other, but I think it's, as I said, it's two sides. As leaders, I feel like leaders have to somewhat prove themselves. We do have to provide something. Even Mr. Garvey says it, in order to lead, you have to be superior in the things that individuals follow you for. So, another way of saying it, in order to lead the people, you have to be able to feed the people. But if we can't, provide, whether it's knowledge or resources, what reason do people have to follow us? Even if it's just a good spirit or a humor, it has to be something that you provide to people to make them want to support you and follow you. So I look at it from those aspects, from those two different ways. And I think we got to do both.
That's real. I want to put one at the end of that. The way I'm thinking about it also is due process is really important. Kind of how you were saying, the team aspect, due process is really important. If a decision or what have you comes, however it comes, I guess.
Yep.
It's a like 7 out of 10. You know what I'm saying? 7 people out of 10 people said something.
Majority.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. That type of thing. So I think that's a good way to think about that's a good way to think about approaching that also. So I would say those 3 things. That's good.
And I'm with you, and that's probably one of the toughest part about this organization thing that we do. That's where I talk about being humble. We may have a proposal, or somebody else may have a proposal that we disagree with. Like, oh no, I don't think that's just terrible. That's a terrible idea. But 80% of the room agrees with that. From an aspect of leadership, from an aspect of organization, we fall in line. We humble ourselves. It's difficult, especially from an intellectual standpoint, because you may think, or even in your mind know for a fact that this is the wrong path. But from a team aspect, you have to swallow your pride, not the right word, but swallow your opinion, and support, have confidence in the collective. Anyone else? Questions, comments on before we proceed?
Yes.
Brother Eric, does that answer your, well, hold on, Brother Eric. Let me ask Brother Eric. Brother Eric, are you good? Did that answer your question?
For sure.
Sister Reverle?
Yeah, just had a question for Brother Imhotep about when he meets about the ATC or with the ATC. Do you have an idea maybe on when you might have an answer back, number 1? And number 2, does the leadership do like I'm new, so I'm just asking for insight. Do they do what do I want to call it? Geez, a State of the Union type meetup for all the members? Maybe once or twice a year, quarterly. Is that something that you all do?
Well, the answer to your first question, I can't say when I'll be able get back with you with the answer. But I hope it's, quicker than as opposed to being, later, much later. And your second question, the HEC does meet annually around the country at the division sites. So that's a recurring meeting, physical meeting. We have meetings once a month by Zoom.
Okay.
Yeah, so that I can request that question, topic, issue be included on the agenda. And but we've had, particularly our last meeting was cut short, and we didn't get through the full agenda. And I'm thinking that happened a couple of meetings prior to then. There's so much, happening here at times. Things happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
Okay.
I'm curious, and I'm on the outside looking in, like I said, because I'm a new member, and I'm hoping to participate more in certain areas, but it would be good to hear like the leaders and their perspective and what their goals are, and overall for the whole organization. So, and I have a reason and I'm asking, so, but I won't go there now, but thank you for answering.
And thank you for asking, and thank you for being a new member. And yes, there's plenty of work for all of us to do. And we had a HEC meeting here in Atlanta last year, which was very good. And they really appreciate President John taking them over to the prison there where Garvey was, and the pictures they took. So things keep moving here, and thank you again for being a new member.
Thank you. Race first.
Yes, great question, Sister Reverle. Sister Belinda, I do see your hand. 1 second. Yeah, but the two biggest meetings of the UNIA, one is High Executive Council, which takes place January, March, April, near, I think it's usually right before Easter. And that's our planning meeting for convention, which is our largest meeting of the year, which takes place every August. So those are two in-person annual meetings that we all encourage everyone to attend. And as Counsel General said, 2023 April, High Executive Council was here in April. Convention, which was in August, was in New York. We have our upcoming High Executive Council next year in April that will be in Philadelphia in April. And then convention next year it will be in Brooklyn, New York. So those are next two upcoming meetings. And at each of the meetings, we decide the location for the next year's meeting. So in 2025, when we gather, we will decide the locations for the 2026 meetings.
President John, I just wanted to add a little more detail on that. Just so the HEC is, when he said the planning for convention, I mean, that's where we will submit proposals that then we will vote on for convention. So any proposals like changing the voting will first go to HEC, which it has been at electronic voting, has been there multiple times. Then it goes to convention for us to actually make it to accept or deny the proposal. But first it has to be voted on at HEC to even make it to convention. So those are the added importance of those meetings and how our government, how we make change in our government.
Yes, sir. Sister Belinda, see you got your hand up.
Yes, Brother John, President John, I'm sorry, you kind of addressed one of my concerns, when you start giving out the dates of, meetings. Okay, my question is there anywhere I can go and find, like, say, for instance, those national meetings and, you know, prior to the meetings or events taking place when it comes to the government, organizing the government? I think, is that what we're talking about?
Yes, what do you mean when you say, can you go find any of the meetings? What do you mean?
Like the dates that you just, I think, Brother Marvin mentioned earlier that, you know, in New York, there is like a conventional meeting. And I don't know anything about those meetings. I wouldn't consider myself being new, but I'm just really kind of not clear on everything that we do. And I'm not really active in participating on certain things, but I would like to meet some of the conventions. I mean, make some of those meetings if I had prior notice.
Okay. HEC, I don't have the exact dates, but I want to say it's the week of the 13th in April. And it'll only be a few days, so probably like the 15th to the 18th in April.
Okay.
And convention, we do have dates for convention. Well, I do, and I probably got dates for HEC somewhere. Convention will be August 20th through 24th in Brooklyn, New York.
Yeah, those the kind of dates or flyers or advertisement that I would like to get a little in advance. This is a good time to get that information. One more question. Well, not pertaining to this. I guess I'll share this when it come time. Well, are we going to be able to share? Or do you want me to say it now? I just got a question. I wanted to know, do we have like a anything in regards to reparations?
That would be a council general question. Attorney
Like
Imhotep, I'm gonna throw that to you.
a committee or anything like that? Do we do anything in regards to that?
Council General, you want to give any input on that?
I don't know of any committee in support of reparations. Again, that doesn't mean that there aren't any. I'm not aware of any.
Well, last meeting, last week's meeting, we had Brother Cam Howard come on and you know, share the reparations link with us. I think he put it in the chat. Was anybody from this group able to attend that meeting on October the 11th?
I was not, but I'm familiar with in Cobra, the organization, but I did not attend the meeting.
Okay.
Sister Belinda, if you could, sounds like you
Lower my hands, right.
sounds like we need a correspondent or a representative to keep us abreast as to what's going on with the reparations discussions and how we can continue to support that movement.
Pardon, Brother John.
Brother Orman, yes.
The dates, the upcoming events and their dates, wouldn't that be in the newsletter that is published?
I think so. Brother Art stepped away. Ross Marvin is here. Ross, can you confirm if our upcoming programs, flyers were included in the latest newsletter? Ross Marvin? Looks like Ross stepped away. Brother Orman, that's a great idea. It usually kind of is automatic. As we promote, Ross kind of just collects what we promote and puts it in the newsletter. So I'll try to make sure that is in the latest news.
I'm here, President John. I'm here.
Greetings. Brother Orman was asking if our upcoming programs will be promoted in the newsletter, and I would say specifically the history of the UNIA auxiliaries and our Ancestors Day program.
Yes, the newsletter came out Friday or Saturday, and you'll see our ancestor program in it. You'll see the history of the UNIA auxiliaries inside the newsletter.
Thank you.
Black Cross nurses, and whatever's happening that we receive the flyer for, they're all in the newsletter. So everybody should check your email. The newsletter should be in your email. It just come out about a day or two ago, a couple of days ago.
Oh, thank you, Brother Ross. I just pointed it out because the sister was asking for that information. I figured maybe she did not know of the newsletter. Now she has the information and she can find all the information she needs. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Sister Belinda, are you receiving the Whirlwind newsletter?
No, I'm not.
Would you put your email in the chat?
Is it via email?
Yes, it's an email newsletter.
Okay, I'll put my personal email. I think Brother Ross Marvin has my business email. I'll probably do my personal email in the chat.
Thank you. And President Ross, you gonna grab that, add that to our database?
Yes, I will, President John. But first, before I add it to the database, I'm going to check because Sister Belinda should be receiving the email, the newsletter. So I'm going to check and give you an update shortly before the meeting's over.
No problem. She said that she may have given you her business email, but she wanted to give you her personal email.
If she can personally put it in the chat directly to me.
It looks like she just dropped it in the regular chat.
That's okay. I can get it.
Okay. All right. I think that takes care of our reports. We kind of jumped into member share already. Brothers, as you know, we allow our sisters to share first. Well, Brother Art, last officer, usually don't have much, but anything that you have from an officer standpoint as recording secretary?
I attended the secretary's meeting the other day.
Yes, sir.
But there wasn't much shared by Secretary General, just the monthly business reports, financial reports, and updates on the elections. A lot of divisions haven't completed their elections for the year yet.
Mm.
And she put out a notice that they must be completed by the end of the year.
Yep.
So she was really harping on that. Also, several divisions had events that they're planning. 429 is having an event on the 31st. They also mentioned the shared event with us on the 19th. Sister Yvonne out of the Montreal division stated that they were having a Marcus Garvey movie they were showing, and she didn't elaborate. I got some of her information and tried to contact her to get her to give me the information so I could share the showing with everybody, but I haven't heard back from her yet. And 407 Detroit Division says they're having a problem with
their elections because a lot of their members haven't been coming during the summer. So they expect to pick up this fall. They're also having a Kwanzaa event, which is a food network that they're setting up. And they started 6 months ago. The way they set it up was each member pays $20 a month for 5 months. And that'll give them enough money to raise the food and set everything up for the food network. 401, they have a youth movement they started. And with the youth movement, they have their elders talk about their experiences in the UNIA to the youth to teach them about the UNIA and all of the goings on that they have encountered during their time in the UNIA. Race first, that's it. Race first.
Race first. Thank you, Brother Art. Great job. Any questions for our recording secretary? Well, yeah, thank you, Brother Art. And yeah, all secretaries should be attending the secretary meeting per our bylaws. So next month, we'll try to get that, share that invitation with the other secretaries. But great job, Brother Art. I think that's all of our officers. Now we can officially move to member share. Sister Belinda, I know you just spoke, but did you take care of your member share with your question? Or did you have anything else? You're on mute, Sister Belinda.
Yes, I want to share, do my member share.
Go ahead.
That was one thing that I just had with concern. But real quick, I want to quote this scripture. Quote this from Malcolm X. He said that you can't separate peace from freedom because no one can be at peace unless he has his freedom. And that's a quote by Malcolm X. And I'm saying that because I really, need you all to put this on the top of your radar, what's happening here in Louisiana. The non-unanimous Jim Crow jury, back in 2018, we fought to have this racist, this unconstitutional Jim Crow law taken out of the Louisiana Constitution. And the people came out and we rallied the vote and got 64% to have this removed. Whereas we had over, we not sure about the numbers because we know that it could have been thousands, but our organization was able to vet over 1,500 cases of people that had been wrongfully convicted up under this unconstitutional law that was a Jim Crow, and they had done this for over 120 years. So what happened is that we went all the way up to the United States Supreme Court, and I'm talking fast because I really want you guys to put this on your radar because it's getting ready to come back again, where people are still languishing away in these hellhole prisons here in Louisiana, and they deserve their freedom. Their families are suffering. People, they're dying inside the prisons now. We had over 81 people die this year. They're saying that the people are dying from heart attacks, but really it's drug overdose. So we want these people to have the opportunity to either get a fair trial or be let go free. They trying to, literally kill. This is what I believe, that, I just have a story of one of my members that joined up with me that was entitled to have another trial. But he had been in prison for over 10 years, and he won his conviction was overturned because of because what I'm trying to say, it was overturned. So that means that he had the opportunity, instead of them giving him his day in court, they started giving him harsh tranquilizers. They was trying to kill this young man in prison, literally trying to kill him. So we were able to get him out, and now we're nursing him back to health, and he's going to be able to tell his story, hopefully soon one day, that they literally would rather that he be dead than order for them to admit that they had wrongfully convicted him. So what I'm saying this is that right now we're organizing and mobilizing people to support us and come and rally with us at the Capitol here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and to speak with our legislators. And so we need support with national news. We're going to be putting out some information, and I'm hoping that we can put it in a newsletter and just really, make this a household word that, right along with reparation and liberation and the freedom for these people that are wrongfully convicted up under this Jim Crow, racist, unconstitutional Jim Crow law here in Louisiana. Thank you for allowing me to share.
Sister Belinda, is there a flyer or any way to update that information with us?
Not at this time. This is like fresh off the press right now. We're actually getting involved with putting together our messaging on how we're going to put all of our information out there. And I would make sure that we do, I either email it to Brother Ross Marvin and make sure that we can get it. Because we're going to need you all's help. At some point in time, we may be even asking that, you guys can come down here in a van or something, and be with us at the Capitol when we're trying to get, I'm gonna be calling on you all to help. We're trying to get some national known celebrities. We had John Legend come down here with us back in 2018. He was in support and helping us to get the the people riled up to go out and vote for this to be passed. And we won. We were very successful. So we're at this again, and we really shouldn't be at this again. This should have been over with. One of the things that I do have that's very concerned about is that we want to file some type of class action lawsuit against the state of Louisiana for holding these people even after the United States Supreme Court said that they could not do this anymore. But since, the Supreme Court handed it back down to the state court, to the state to decide what they wanted to do. And they just left the people in there. That's what they done. They just left them in there.
Okay, we're looking forward to follow up on that. That's very important.
Yes, it's serious. Thank you for coming here. Race first.
Race first. Thank you, Sister Belinda. We'll keep moving. 7:40. Still have a few members have not had a chance to share yet. Go down to Sister Herlon. Greetings, Sister Herlon. Sister Herlon, keep them laughing. You there? Okay, we'll try to come back. Greetings, race first. Sister Herlon, you there? Sister Herlon, you there? Okay. Unless she went back on mute. We'll try to come back to Sister Herlon in a minute. Okay.
Yeah, I'm here now. I had to cut my Bluetooth off. I didn't realize it was on. I forgot it was on.
No problem. Greetings, sister. How you doing?
Greetings. I'm okay.
What's been going on? You still working on the march, the women's march?
Yeah, I'm still working on it.
All right, all right. Anything you want to share with the family tonight?
Yeah, I had a Peter Tosh event was supposed to go on next Saturday, but it's gonna be canceled and postponed for right now to a later date. But I had to cancel it.
I saw that. That was with Black Achievement Fund.
Yes.
The outdoor
Yes.
event.
Huh?
It was an outdoor event, correct? Like overnight or
Yeah, it was supposed to be indoor and outside, but it was canceled not due to my thing, but it to under my control. But yeah, it was supposed to be an outside or inside, wherever which way we flow, you know, wherever the spirit leads, that's where we's gonna end up.
gotcha. You got anything else coming up that in the next couple of weeks that we can support?
Yeah, I am working on a woman empowerment, and my woman empowerment is actually gonna celebrate Nina Simone. And I thought what way to celebrate Nina Simone is for the women empowerment. So if any ladies y'all, anybody wanna step up and be part of this, I am sure welcoming it, because that's a part of me pushing up to this this march, because I'm sick of watching our nation fall, and I know the way that it's the women. So I'm trying to come to shake the women up, because when the Semitic women wake up, the world will wake up. So I'm hearing the sisters in Louisiana, you were speaking what's going on in your area, and you want to keep depending on that down presser. They ain't gonna give you nothing. The other way we gonna get something, if we unite and come together, we gotta start coming together and doing our own thing. That's what Marcus Garvey represented, that our own self, because if we don't have confidence, we defeated. And if your confidence is keep believing in that system, it's gonna free you, then you defeated. So my confidence is, if we standing together and fight together, fight together stronger. We stronger in numbers. You quoted Malcolm X, and go back in Malcolm X when he said we ain't outnumbered, we unorganized. So if we organize, we don't need to have to keep. You don't have to depend on your down presser to free y'all out of Louisiana. You can free yourself.
Right.
So if any women want to be involved, to pull this march off or be involved, if this women empowerment that I'm putting together can contribute or like to be a part of it, please let me know. Ross Marvin and President John, Chairman, they know how to get a hold of me, and I put my information in the chat, but they know how to get a hold of me. Because if y'all want to start making a difference, action. Because words, we can sit on here and talk all we want. All we having to do is a community meeting. So till we start getting up and doing something, that's when we gonna get results. But we can sit on here all day and depend on our down pressure. We ain't gonna get nowhere. I believe in action. My grandmother was a community active, and my great grandfather had a militant group here in Atlanta, and he didn't play. You get what I'm saying? So all I'm just saying that we need to come together in action and start pulling some things off and stop talking about what we gonna do, because that we ain't gonna get nowhere. So if any women want to get up and put some action together, I'm here, because I'm standing with action. And I know when the women come together, then everything will come together. My organization is built on is getting the women together. Because back in the day, the women even go back to the Black Panthers. The Black Panthers was really on the women. Angela Davis, Caitlin Cleaver, which Captain Cleaner went up against the Women's Feminist Act, and that's what Camille Harris representing. So, but they was on action, and the women ran the community. The women ran everything, like Empress Mina and Menelik's wife. She the one won that war. So the women, when we women come together, that's when we stand together, that's when we gonna win. So when y'all ready to stand together, I'm here waiting on you. Or y'all can keep sitting down depending on your down pressure and keep voting, because voting ain't did nothing for nobody. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Thank you, Sister Herlon. Face first, yeah, we definitely, whatever we can do to support upcoming Women's March, women's empowerment.
Well, I know you been supporting, John. I give you that. You helped me, to be honest, you helped me get over the biggest hurdle part. You got me stuck out of park. Now I'm driving.
Yes, ma'am.
You feel me? So I really appreciate you. You came at the table when I needed somebody at that table to unscramble my mind. And that's what you did. And it's good to see a lion step up to come see a lion's vision through. You helped see my vision through. So I'm always be gratitude for you for that. You ain't did nothing else, you did that.
we want to get it to the finish line, Sister Herlon. So
no, we gonna get it through the finish line.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Anything you need?
We're gonna get it through the finish line, because I'm like Meshach. I'm going through that fire and I ain't gonna get burnt.
Yes, ma'am. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Three of them, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, you know all three of them.
I got you. No, I'm messing with you. All right. Thank you, Sister Herlon.
I get one thing. I would like y'all in a moment of silence or remembrance that Wanda Smith here in Atlanta, she was a comedian and I knew her personally. And she was a real good person. And if y'all take a moment of silence or just think about her, or just think about her, just think about her family, because she had children, you know.
You talking
she
about
was a
Wanda
good person.
from the radio?
She embraced me when I met her. She really did. And she was for women. She really was for women, because I was gonna go to her with this march too, because I know she would have helped me. So if anybody knew Wanda Smith on the radio and down here in Atlanta, just give a moment's of thought of her family, because she died yesterday.
Oh my God. Oh, I didn't know that.
So it was a big loss to the comedy family. I'm part of the comedy family, so that was a big loss to us, you know.
Thank you, Sister Herlon. I'm gonna do some research in the background while we continue member share. But yeah, please, we'll take a moment of silence for our Sister Wanda Smith. All right, thank you, brothers and sisters. Found a brief, well, I thought I did. Thought I had a accessible article on X. Legendary Atlanta comedian, radio personality Wanda Smith has died, a voice for so many Atlantans. But yes. Thank you, Sister Herlon, for that news. All right, we must proceed with member share. A few more members that have not had a chance to share. Sister Reverle, you've been patiently waiting. Greetings, Sister Reverle.
Oh, thank you. Race first, everyone.
Race first.
I don't have a lot to share or anything else than the conversation. Sad to hear about Wanda, for sure. But I'm just thinking and about what the women said, Sister Belinda, Sister Herlon, just dwelling on that. And that's it. Race first.
Race first. Thank you, Sister Reverle. Let's see what Mama Mina, is there anything that you wanted to share? You're on mute, Mama Mina.
No, I don't have anything to share other than my desire to have that pre-Kwanzaa fest
Pre-Kwanzaa Fest.
sometime before December. But we got so much other stuff happening. I don't know.
Yeah, we got a lot going on.
Include
But,
that this year.
yeah, we got a lot going on, but we just need to come together and make.
My thought was to help out the vendors. You know.
Yes, that's a good idea. But
we'll see. Well, we'll see what we can do.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Mama Mina.
Thank you, my brother.
All right, I think, were there any other sisters that did not get a chance to share? Brothers have been patiently waiting. All right, thank you, sisters, and thank you, brothers, for waiting patiently. Our first brother will go to a longtime member out of Brooklyn, New York, Dr. Shams. Greetings, Dr. Shams.
Race first.
Race first.
I heard a lot that I need to give feedback on, I tell you that. But one of the first things I like to say, though, is that the way to find recourse against the United States court system is not the U.S. court system, because Trump done put his cronies up there in the U.S. Supreme Court.
In the Supreme Court.
Put them in federal court in different places as well. Biden tried to counteract that supposedly, but to fight the U.S. court against the U.S. court is not the way to go. I keep telling y'all, we're supposed to be sovereign. We supposed to be taking up our complaints, our concerns with the United Nations and the rest of the world. Those who would have our interests at heart. There are countries in Africa, there are countries in Asia, there's countries in Europe, all have our interests at heart. South America have our interests at heart. But they don't know what's going on because we too caught up in the United States system. We believe so much in the system that if you speak against it, you done said something wrong as far as how to get recourse. You know, the only way you can get recourse in these days is to go the path that Noble Drew Ali and Marcus Mosiah Garvey set up for us, which is the League of Nations back then and the United Nations now. Those international laws were not just set up in place because some Europeans cared about us. They were set up by brothers and sisters who fought for us, namely Noble Drew Ali, his people, and Marcus Mosiah Garvey and his people, the organizations they had back then and up till now. Those are the same laws. They evolved somewhat over time. And if you don't believe me, I have an article in my website, Not Helpful USA Legislations People.braysites.com. It will show you that the United States did not want to side with the international court system because they felt that they would not be able to do the things they wanted to do with us any old kind of way they wanted to do things to us. But the United Nations also, in the same article that I have on my website, they have a way of coming back on the United States and combating the U.S. court systems even without established jurisdiction. And I also have reparations on my website. I have on the reversing of Willie Lynch. There are reparations linked. There's a reparations attorney there. He said we should go after the African countries who help bring us over here. Because you must remember, it was our own people, the Arabs and the Europeans, got together and enslaved us. So you have to deal with the root foundation of what these systems are set up under and where the problem is actually what's the resolution to the actual problem we having before you can get any remedy for anything. Otherwise, what you're doing is fruitless. It means nothing. You know, and I also have Kwanzaa on my website too. Again, my website is not helpful. USA legislations, people.bravesites.com. That's not helpful. USA legislations, people.bravesites.com. And if you want to call me, if you have any questions, if you need to get in contact with me for any reason pertaining to what I'm talking about, or if you go visit my website, don't understand something, or you need further help in any way pertaining to what I deal with, and my site is set up as a sovereign defense website, because I understand sovereignty. A lot of us waver on that like we know, but we don't really know, and we're not sure. I am sure about sovereignty. Okay? So my phone number is 1917-500-1699. That's 1917-500-1699. My website again is not helpful. USA legislations, people.bravesites.com. That's why I asked to be a legal assistant to the Counsel General here in this forum, but that's okay. Anything that happened in the past is the past, and everything is closed and no longer in the public domain, so I won't even mention it. So therefore, if you have any questions, contact me. But the best way for us to organize and get our rights and problems understood is through demonstrations and protests, not in front of the U.S. systems that don't want to hear us and don't care about us anyway, violating the law against us right now with the election and what have you, because the 14th Amendment, Section 3 of the 14th U.S. Constitutional Amendment makes it impossible for Donald Trump to supposedly be running for office right now, being that he formed an insurrection against the United States system, but being that the United States is so vehemently against us and don't mind violating its own laws against us, because they know we're people that really don't know how to fight. And if you tell us how to fight, we'll fight you first, you know? But that's the problem. My website, please go check it out. It has music there. It has news channels there. It has various different organizations there. It's a unification site as well. Now, if you have any complaints you want to go to the UN about, you would go under the vote link. You could go under the vote link and look for Union of Member Nations or Unification of Member Nations. I had two links there named almost exactly the same way. One is Unification of Member Nations, and then the other one is Union of Member Nations. Union of Member Nations has videos on it. It's not a lot to read. I don't know if anybody told you that it's mostly, it's not. It's mostly videos, music, news, organizations, and the unification of our people there. Please visit my website and support me too. If you don't mind, leave some kind of donation. Don't care what it is. Just leave something for me there for trying to help us in this struggle. But nobody hears me. That's what my last presentation was about. But nobody heard me. It goes in one ear and out the other. And I don't understand why with all of what we're facing. That's why Trump might win the election. Because God feels his people need more punishment in order to come together, in order to understand that we should be working together and nobody has our answers other than us. We need God to punish us perhaps a little more severely if Trump wins. And if Trump wins, we're in some real trouble there, because we're going to have to fight. And one of the things we have to fight about will probably be the preservation of my website, because I know he's going after it, because I use it to bring him down. Peace and race first. Brother John, you on mute if you talking. You on mute, Brother John. Race first.
Hey, I just got one thing to say to the brother talking about Trump. It don't matter if Trump won or not. Cause let me put you on game on this. Let me tell you something. Voting don't matter because it's ran by the Vikings, and the Vikings ain't nothing but the Roman Catholics. They own DC. That's when y'all figure that one out, y'all win. And what that goes to say, listen, Trump is still the president under their corporation. It ain't nothing but a corporation. DC ain't even part of the United States. It's part of the Rome because it's part of the Roman Catholics. So when you research that and find out what you facing and what you fighting, you wouldn't care who in that damn slave master house, okay? You know, that's all I want to tell you. So go research that. It don't matter if Trump get in there, Mickey Mouse get in there, Donald Trump, it don't matter. Because
race first, sister. If you heard most of what I said we cannot fight the U.S. system and the U.S. system. It don't make sense. So I agree with you 100%. But the thing of it is, we don't go to United Nations. We'll kill somebody. They don't say we U.S. citizens.
All right, brothers and sisters. Let's wrap up member share. I'll turn off the recording and we can continue the discussion if needed. We have one more member did not get a chance to share that I think Brother Abdul Aziz, are you there? All right, brother. If was there anyone?
Yeah, I'm on here.
Greetings, my brother. Anything you want to?
How you doing? It's Abdul Aziz. How you doing? I'm down here in Indianapolis. You know what I'm saying? I'm just helping you brothers support the Black Klan. You know what I'm saying? And stay plugged in. You know what I'm saying? And stay plugged in with UNIA-ACL, Collective Black People Movement. We got some new brothers. It's gonna be that's part of us now. Melvin Marshall, he said hi. He just, said big ups. He said keep doing what y'all doing. You know what I'm saying? Everybody stay within grasp of achieving these set goals that we strive to achieve. And that's basically it. You know what I'm saying? Race first.
Thank you, Brother Abdul.
All right.
Just posted on
race first.
Somebody need to turn off their camera. I think Miss Mama need to turn off her camera.
Mama, all right.
I got a camera.
You all right? I turned it off. We get ready to close.
Race first. Brother Abdul Aziz, part of what you said is part of the Vienna Convention. When nothing else works, we demonstrate, we protest, and then we do what we really have to do and go all out and fight back, combat the best way we know how, the best way we can. That's why we need the backing of the United Nations and those countries who have our best interests at heart. Peace and race first.
Race first. Thank you, Dr. Shams. I want to All right, we're gonna close out with the anthem. I'll stop the recording. If there's any other discussion that we need to have, we can do that. Everyone would please put your line on mute and stand for the Universal Ethiopian Anthem.
President John.
Yes. Yes.
President John, this is Sister Belinda.
Yes.
I just wanted to let you know I'm gonna keep keep everyone updated with the reparation. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Belinda. Very, very much appreciated.
So on my side at reversing the Willie Lynch too, sister, with a reparations attorney there. He's a race first.
The land where the gods love to be. As storm cloud at night suddenly gathers, our armies come rushing to thee. We must in the fight be victorious. When swords are thrust outward to gleam, for us will the victory be glorious, when led by the red, black, and green. Advance, advance to victory, let Africa be free. Advance, advance to meet the foe. Advance, advance to meet the foe. With the might of the red, the black, and the green. With the might of the red, the black, and the green. Ethiopia, the tyrant's falling, who smote thee upon thy knees, and thy children are lustily calling from over the distant seas. Jehovah, the Great One, has heard us, has noted our sighs and our tears. With the spirit of love, he has stirred us to be one through the coming years. Advance, advance to victory, let Africa be free. Advance, advance to meet the foe. Advance, advance to meet the foe. With the might of the red, the black, and the green. With the might of the red, the black, and the green. O Jehovah, thou God of ages, grant unto us sons that thee, the wisdom thou gave to thy sages, when Israel was sore in need. Thy voice from the dim has spoken, Ethiopia shall stretch forth the hand by thee. Shall our fetters be broken, and heaven bless our dear fatherland. Advance, advance to victory, let Africa be free. Advance, advance.
Is the meeting over?
Yes, yeah, lost connection at the end of the song. I think the recording has
Oh, okay.